she like, you know, I was looking cool. I just worked on Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I helped on set with some stuff. My mentor works for Marvel Films. So I kind of did an inspired look. I was a black cat suit, blue skin, bob. Looked like, you know, it was like an intergalactic bitch about to fuck you up. So she was talking to a girl, and a girl went up to her like, oh my God, Vander, like, I really want to compete for the pageant tonight, but I'm just not for sure, like, you know, if I should change. I brought this other look. And Vander was just like really sweet because the girl obviously was like a new queen. And Vander was like, baby, just bring your best and you'll enjoy it. Then she locked eyes at me, and I was like kind of standing near her. And she kind of walked up, and I was like, should I change? And she kind of smirked, and she goes, it'd be cool if your whole body was blue. And I was like, okay. So I went back to the hotel that we're staying in, painted my body blue, spray painted me up, looked like a gutter punk, like filthy girl. They announced the song. It was Violet, or A Hole by Violet. And we performed, and it was fucking... Violet by Hole, sorry. And I was listening to that while we ordered Del Taco, so I ate a little taco real quick and then got to the precinct and competed for the title and ended up winning. Yes. And that kind of got me on their radar, and then I had to do an audition tape. But, you know, like, you know, I really needed to win because the hotel bill was $300 and I won $300. So like, we covered that, we were good.
You have to do what you have to do, bitch. So you put in that audition tape for season 2, you got in.
Yes.
You fly out here.
Yes.
You're there on the first day, they appear in front of you.
Yes.
And then the real horror begins when you're in the basement of that theater and all the girls start coming for you, sweetie.
We shot the promo first, and I feel like everybody was friendly with me that day. And then, you know, I noticed Deborah, like, when I walked in, Deborah was, like, smiling. She had, like, the best, like, it was the best day for her. Like, this was, like, the moment she's always wanted. And I just yelled, Abby Lee Miller! From, like, the wings as I was walking in, and she was, like, I just saw her face, like, crack. And she turned and looked at me and was like, she didn't talk to me the whole day until we did the boudoir. And then the cameras went on us, and we were all on ice after I said Cafe. But anyway, like, they all came for me, and I think it's just, you know, I had a personality, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just nice, and I just was there to have a good time. But, you know, I think the girls collectively had something against me, and that was okay. Like, I looked at everybody that first day, and I knew I was at my best. Like, I was like, I look like shit. I don't feel myself. Like, this is not the moment. But I looked around, and I knew like a lot of them were like, this is my A game. Like, this is my like college thesis. Like, this is like it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like I'm not busted out my A game, so I think I have a shot to go. If I can make it past these first 2 challenges that I hated. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. And you know, all my life, I realized if you give in to bullies, it only adds fuel to the fire. Like literally, you can't do anything better to handle a bully than do it with your actions. So I was in my head with the competition, and I was really trying to not be myself those first 2 challenges because I was trying to fit like what I thought the Boulay brothers were looking for, right? I thought that was like, oh, this other side of bitch. But I realized like that 3rd episode when I got that final chance to do the rock challenge, I was like, no, like, you're Biqtch Puddin. You're fucking here because you are Biqtch Puddin.
Yeah.
And you might as well do Biqtch Puddin so people want to book you. And you get to travel and do what you love to do. Because I don't care if I win. I just want to be able to do what I love more than anything in the world. And as soon as I started doing that, everything clicked for me and then carried me to the end.
Yeah, it was like a runaway train at the end there. I mean,
the comeback was fierce.
Yeah, because those first 2 episodes were a little tentative and you were in the bottom. And then, honey, she started doing it. You got out of your head, you started embracing it, and you were killing it.
I had a good time.
Episode 4, the alien waitress sci-fi runway. We got a picture of that. Yes, that was amazing.
That's my favorite. It's so good. I was inspired by a Gucci ad that came out like a couple months before. And in the write-up, they were like, you know, throughout the whole competition, they give you kind of a little, you know, it's like other reality shows where they give you a little write-up like, bring something festive for Easter. Or, you know, like, whatever, like, not for Dragula, but you know what I mean. So, like, they gave me this thing, and the second word was camp. And I knew the rest of the cast, and I was like, other than Disasterina's crazy fucking ass, none of these bitches are going to do camp. So I was like, okay. And I always thought it'd be funny to be, like, a fucking waitress. And actually, I was staying, Ganja actually let me borrow that outfit.
Oh, really?
That was that outfit that Ganja had, and I went over before filming, and I was like, ooh. Okay, bitch, can I borrow that? this crazy idea for a waitress, and I came out with blue waffles, and it's layered in there.
Yeah.
People always want to know what I said when I come in and like, hey, they're like, don't know what I say, and like the poor person who had to die like that. So my whole thing is I thought we had the time that they gave us a curveball like right before we did the next day, the challenge that we had to be pregnant and give birth, and I was like, how the fuck? Okay, all right. So the challenge before was black and yellow, and I literally made for this challenge, I wanted to be like this B Power Ranger fucking villain girl, right? And my backup was the alien. And I was like, okay, well, I have this, like, and I didn't want to repeat colors because the challenge before was black and yellow, and I already repeated latex twice, and the kids, like, were hating me on that. I was like, I'm finally on a roll. We got to keep it up. So I came up with the idea of making the baby out of this parts that I was going to do for the B warrior Power Ranger villain costume, and I combined the arm piece with the head, and it looked like a little baby. And I was like, okay, so how the fuck does this green waitress give birth to this bee thing? And I came up with the idea of like she gets stung by like a random wasp and it makes her pregnant and she gives birth. But of course there's no like fucking context. It didn't fucking matter. You could do like anything. But my like performance art background was like, okay, how the fuck do we connect all these fucking things? Anyway, it came out. I didn't win that challenge. James did, and Victoria did great. It was honestly, I had the most fun. It was like the best thing. That's when I started having fun in the competition. And I always say, like, you're not doing drag if you're not having fun.
Yeah.
And it kind of came full circle in that moment. I was like, you know what? I'm having fun. I'm here. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I might not get this shit again. Might as well make the most of it.
Now, episode 8, they're like, surprise, we're going to Wasteland, and you are about to live your Mad Max fantasies. What was that like?
Have you ever gotten ready in the middle of the desert?
Right.
90-degree temperament.
Uh-huh.
All this. I actually did a gig with Blaze in Austin Pride last year, and the heat index was like 95 to 100. And they like text me before, like, ooh, bitch, it's hot. And I'm like, you don't remember us getting ready in full drag in the fucking desert? Like, you prepped us for this shit, girl. We're having a good time. So yeah, it was super cool. Honestly, there was like machine guns, fire going off. It was like super punk rock.
Yeah, that Thunderdome battle.
I wanted to blow everybody. Everybody looked hot. It looked like they had the musky dick. I was here for it. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And everybody, you thought like maybe, oh, this is a concert. No, bitch, like everybody was down. Like they literally saw us eyebrowless like freaks walking around. They're like, hey, how you doing? Like, I don't know if you man, woman, or in between, but we're here for it.
Yeah.
How you doing? But yeah, it was super fun. The Thunderdome was literally like, I grew up with a younger brother. And we used to beat the shit out of each other with like foam swords and stuff, like, you know, Power Rangers trying to be a Power I just want to be a Power Ranger. I don't know if you can tell by this interview.
I've caught a couple Power Ranger clues.
I live in Asian Grove, California. Like, I just want to be a fucking Power Ranger. Okay, like me and Sonique want to just be Power Rangers, okay? Like I could be blue, she could be the pink, it's fine. But yeah, the Thunderdome thing was so fucking cool, and literally I got to fight Abora. I wish we all could fight each other, because at that point I had aggressions elsewhere. Like, I never had a problem with Abora. I knew she just probably ate a bad piece of cantaloupe and felt some kind of way towards me, and then she got through it. And I was like, because the whole time I was like, bitch, like, we could be on a team. We're from Atlanta. We could fuck these hoes up. And she just had something up her ass. And I was like, we could have had a good time. But I'd fight her, and she looked like a Final Fantasy boss. Right? And then there's like flame spiral going out behind her. I was like, I'm built for this. I'm gonna
yeah, you've been training for this for your whole life.
And I got to beat her nose off of her face. So great. But the best part is like right before there was these like two like Amazonian, like there's these brolic dudes who are kind of surveying people as they come in to fight. And beforehand, you know, it was these huge, the dome is filled with all these fucking people. And, you know, before us is these brolic fucking guys. Like, no girls are really doing this. Like, maybe one or two here and there. But, you know, the first two go, and it was James and Victoria, and they kind of look androgynous, right? But me and, like, I got titties on, like, fucking Abora's in a bra. Like, we look like some kind of woman in this dark fantasy world. Right. And we get out there, and we were starting to fight, and all you hear goes, like, are those fucking chicks? And then all you hear is, like, no, they're fucking drag queens. And the whole audience is like, yeah! losing their shit. And meanwhile, we're like fighting back and forth, and these Amazonian women are like pulling us apart to go into it. And she like spun me around. She's like, "Yo, Moscato girl, I got those gorgeous legs. Wrap it around her and beat her fucking ass." And she just like pushed me to it. And honestly, it was so fucking cool. Right before we did all that too, like this woman came out in this full like fucking garb and shit, and she sang the Fifth Element opera song.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, this is the stars are aligning. You know, we got Final Fantasy. We got Mad Max. We got this bitch singing my favorite fucking movie song. Like literally, Fifth Element's my shit, and like it's all coming together. I was like, this is meant to be, and it was fun.
And then
Most fun ever.
You took it to the top, sweetie. I mean, you did it. That was a very tough top 3 with you, Victoria, and James. But honey, you did it.
I did. It was really hard, especially because my filth I came up with the day before.
Wow.
My horror look completely changed the night before. And the dress I originally was supposed to wear for my glamour portion, the designer kind of botched it last minute and only gave me one part. It was supposed to have a reveal. So literally, when you're up against a fence like that, I think, you know, Dragula kind of teaches you it. But like, you know, people got mad at some judge on this other reality show where they were like, you know, they're being too hard. Like, oh, you don't have enough time. Let me tell you, when you do the Dragula finale, you have 1 hour to do change between looks. Only one. That's as soon as you get off stage and you walk over and you change. So like, literally, anything can fucking happen. And that's show business too. Like literally you could forget your wig and you have to restyle your hair. Like literally, life is kind of like that. It's never expected. So I kind of am an improver, so I was able to kind of like, okay, like look, like I'm gonna do this fucking janitor bitch, because like Abora was like, just do a janitor. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just drink the water and make it more filthy. The horror look came about, I wanted originally to be a bitch that went through hell. So like a Resident Evil zombie dog. Do you know Resident Evil?
Oh, yes,
yeah.
I
Okay.
do.
I wanted to look like a Doberman that went through hell.
Yeah.
Like I had like the idea of having a laser eye and all cool. I put the costume on and I looked like a really bad mascot.
Right.
And I was like, oh no.
Gotta switch it up.
So literally, you know those crazy ass bad teeth I'm wearing? Like, cause when the lights come on, the look is not the teeth. When the lights are off, baby, I'm the big dick fantasy you always wanted to come into your nightmares and have a good time. And I was like, I made those teeth pieces out of the Jack in the Box bags that we got the night before, and I wheeled it up with like some like latex, and I kind of made like the eye piece out. Like I literally had no money at that point. I was making whatever I could, and you know, it came together, and I was so proud of it in the end run. But I'm just kind of what I'm trying to say is to you all, it's like, you know, you have these set plans, you have things set in stone. Always know that shit can hit the fucking fan and you still got to make it work, and you can make it work. You just have to have fun with that.
For an uncensored audio version of our show and stuff we could not fit in the show with Biqtch Puddin today that still exists, but it exists where? At patreon.com/Hey Qween TV. They're going to want to go there, right, bitch?
Yeah, you can see my whole pic.
That's right. Oh, Biqtch, thank you so much for being here today,
Thanks
sweetie.
for having me. It was super fun.
I just really love what you've been able to do, and you really have made so many opportunities for other drag queens in this difficult time. So hats off to you for that.
Hats off to you for like making this show, celebrating, you know, drag in its entirety, and bringing people smile on people's faces, especially during these crazy times, but during also, you know, the weekly strife when we're not in a COVID life, you know. Seriously, this show has been super fun. It's like a dream come true being on here, so thank you for having me.
Thank you, Biqtch. That means a lot. And honey, you've turned it so fiercely that you have snatched the trophy, sweetie! Yeah!
Yes! Oh, this is heavy. This is real.
That's right, a real trophy this time for Biqtch. Maybe when you come back, there won't be COVID and you won't have to just hump the trophy.
Okay.
We'll have a lap dance for you.
Oh my God, yes.
Thank you to Adam, Joseph, and Erickatoure. Thank you to the gorgeous Biqtch Puddin. And we love you, Lady Red. I know you're watching up in heaven. And thanks to all of you. We'll see you next time on Hey Qween. Bye, baby. No one's ever danced with the knife before.